Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking about helping other people.
That's right. We are going to volunteer and to help other people that maybe don't have as much as we do, and so this is a way to give back to the community.
That's right. So this is an intermediate level lesson, and before we get going, we have a phrase to preview in today's vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
All right, so on vocabulary preview today, we have this phrase, a soup kitchen, or it's a noun, a soup kitchen.
That's right. A soup kitchen is a place. Basically, it is a place where volunteers can help cook and serve people who don't have enough money to feed themselves.
Okay, so that's a soup kitchen. It's basically a place where people can get free food.
That's right.
Okay, so this is where we're going to be today. We are at a soup kitchen, and we're going to hear a couple of people talking about helping out at a soup kitchen. Let's listen.
Thanks a lot for pitching in once again, Judy. We really appreciate your help. It seems that at this time of year, there are more and more people who are struggling to make ends meet. There aren't many professional chefs like you who are so generous with their time.
Don't be silly, Mark. I'm more than happy to donate my time to a good cause. Volunteering at the soup kitchen has been really rewarding for me. You know, it's satisfying to provide good meals for those who are less fortunate. I feel like I'm really making a difference in some small way.
Well, your skills are definitely appreciated here. The people who come here have fallen on hard times, and a delicious hot meal can really bolster their spirits. Wow, that smells great. The needy are sure lucky to have you.
Thanks, Mark. Here you go. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you, my dear. Oh, this looks lovely.
You're welcome. Hello, sir. Today we have... George, what are you doing here?
Hey, Judy, I'll have a little of everything, thanks. Smells great.
George, seriously, what are you doing here? I haven't seen you since our divorce was finalized. You've got no right to be here. You're hardly homeless.
Don't be like that, Judy. I really miss your home cooking. All right, we're back. So obviously this person, George, he didn't really need the food, but apparently I think he's divorced from his wife and he was like, oh, I need your food. But other people that were there were very much in need of this food. So why don't we take a look at some of the words and phrases on language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Well, we've got a couple of interesting words here at the beginning that have to do with volunteering or helping other people. The first phrase we have actually is to pitch in.
That's right, to pitch in. So when you pitch in, that's a way of saying helping, right?
That's right, to help. So I could ask you for your help with something. I could say, hey, Marco, can you pitch in a little of your time with this project I have?
Okay, so dedicate or to help, to pitch in. So when you pitch in, you are helping. This is a really common phrase, very colloquial though, right?
To pitch in, that's right.
Okay, and then moving on, another adjective when a person likes to help or gives money to the poor, that person is generous.
That's right. So generous is an adjective. That means a person can be generous or an effort can be generous. For example, a very famous generous person is...
Mother Teresa of Calcutta.
Well, I was thinking Warren Buffett, but
okay.
Both of them are very generous. Mother Teresa for giving back to the poor and Warren Buffett for donating most of his money.
Okay, very good. So that is a sign of a person that is generous. So usually generous people like Warren Buffett, you say he gave away his fortune to people that didn't have money. We call these people the less fortunate.
That's right. So as you said, we've got three words here that mean poor people, basically. Mm-hmm. And we don't like to say poor people in English because it's not very nice. You know, people can't control their situation in many cases, and it's more of a situation of not having what others have. Mm-hmm. And so one way to say this is less fortunate. Okay.
So a person that's less fortunate is a person that's poor.
That's right. So I could say, for example, we often try to help the less fortunate by volunteering our time.
Okay. So fortunate is a way of saying that you have fortune or you have luck. So if you say you are very fortunate, that means that you are very lucky.
That's right.
Okay. So less fortunate means poor. And another way of saying that somebody is poor, you say that person is needy.
Needy. So this probably makes you think of the word need, to need, and you're right. This comes from need. So someone who is needy needs things, needs money, needs help, needs food.
Okay, even attention, right? Somebody that's needy might need a lot of attention all the time.
That's right. So this could actually be a bad thing. Someone who's needy says, look at me, oh my gosh, look at me, listen to me. And that can be very annoying.
Okay, so the needy. And now finally, a very common word to say that somebody is very poor, doesn't have a place to live, doesn't have a home. You say that person is homeless.
Homeless literally means without a home. And so we often talk about the homeless as being a group of people we want to help in society, because the homeless live on the streets, they live in public, and in the winter and times when it's really, really cold, it's very dangerous for them. So the homeless are a group that people try to help with these soup kitchens and shelters.
Okay, very good. So a lot of interesting words, common phrases there, very useful. So why don't we go back, listen to this dialogue again, and we'll be back in a little bit with Fluency Builder.
Thanks a lot for pitching in once again, Judy. We really appreciate your help. It seems that at this time of year, there are more and more people who are struggling to make ends meet. There aren't many professional chefs like you who are so generous with their time.
Don't be silly, Mark. I'm more than happy to donate my time to a good cause. Volunteering at the soup kitchen has been really rewarding for me. You know, it's satisfying to provide good meals for those who are less fortunate. I feel like I'm really making a difference in some small way.
Well, your skills are definitely appreciated here. The people who come here have fallen on hard times, and a delicious hot meal can really bolster their spirits. Wow, that smells great. The needy are sure lucky to have you.
Thanks, Mark. Here you go. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you, my dear. Oh, this looks lovely.
You're welcome. Hello, sir. Today we have... George, what are you doing here?
Hey, Judy, I'll have a little of everything, thanks. Smells great.
George, seriously, what are you doing here? I haven't seen you since our divorce was finalized. You've got no right to be here. You're hardly homeless.
Don't be like that, Judy. I really miss your home cooking. All right, we're back. So on Fluency Builder today, we have 3 key phrases. So we're going to take a look at those now.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so what is our first phrase?
Our first phrase comes from the beginning of the dialogue with Mark, who says, there are some people who are struggling to make ends meet. So the phrase here is to make ends meet.
Okay, to make ends meet. So if you take a look at this phrase, it's very hard to determine what that actually means. What does it mean?
Well, think about a string. If you want to make a circle out of that string, you have to connect the ends, right? And I think of that as being about your income and the money that you spend. I cannot make ends meet if I earn $10 every week, but I spend $15 on my house and my food.
Right.
Okay. So not being able to make ends meet means you spend more than you earn. Okay. And that's not about cars and fancy TVs. That's about your house, your heat, your bills, and your food.
Right.
But I say, I've been able to make ends meet for a while now because I have a pretty good job. Okay, so to make ends meet is to be able to pay for your necessities.
Okay.
But he can't make ends meet means he can't support himself financially.
Okay, very good. So to make ends meet is pretty much to satisfy your basic necessities. Financially, okay. Very good. And moving on, when we were talking about generosity and people helping out, if you help people that are less fortunate, you are making a difference in a small way.
Okay, so this is a phrase that we hear all the time in the States. I'm not sure if it's the same in other English-speaking countries, but it's a very popular phrase. We talk about making a difference or trying to make a difference. And it's not very clear what a difference really is. But generally, this means doing good things for other people.
Okay.
Okay, so celebrities try to make a difference with their money and their fame. Some people try to make a difference by working at homeless shelters or at soup kitchens. And so there are many different ways to make a difference, but it's basically the idea that you volunteer or you give money to help other people.
Okay, very good. So even if, for example, you recycle, you can say you're making a difference in the environment.
That's right, you're making a difference. Usually a difference is a positive thing, so
Okay.
keep that in mind.
Very good. And for the last phrase on Fluency Builder today, we say that people who come here have fallen on hard times. So people that have fallen on hard times. What does it mean if you fall on hard times?
Well, basically, hard times are difficulties, right? So not being able to make ends meet, not being able to pay for your food and your housing. And so we have the verb to fall. You've fallen on hard times because you've gone from a place where you're comfortable to a lower place, a place where life is really hard.
Right.
And so think of this as a fixed phrase. He fell on hard times, or they fell on hard times. This means they don't have much money, or they can't support themselves, or they went bankrupt, for example.
So somebody that loses their job may have fallen on hard times.
That's right.
Okay.
And there's one more phrase here that deserves a little attention. We heard this word to bolster. To bolster is a verb that means to improve. So a hot meal can really bolster their spirits. That means it can make them feel better.
So to bolster their spirits means to make them feel happier, to lift their spirits.
That's right. Exactly what you said, to make them feel happier.
Okay, awesome. So a lot of interesting phrases there. Ways that you can talk in English about making a difference, about volunteering. Very interesting stuff. Very good for conversations between friends and family. So why don't we go back, listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more.
Thanks a lot for pitching in once again, Judy. We really appreciate your help. It seems that at this time of year, there are more and more people who are struggling to make ends meet. There aren't many professional chefs like you who are so generous with their time.
Don't be silly, Mark. I'm more than happy to donate my time to a good cause. Volunteering at the soup kitchen has been really rewarding for me. You know, it's satisfying to provide good meals for those who are less fortunate. I feel like I'm really making a difference in some small way.
Well, your skills are definitely appreciated here. The people who come here have fallen on hard times, and a delicious hot meal can really bolster their spirits. Wow, that smells great. The needy are sure lucky to have you.
Thanks, Mark. Here you go. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you, my dear. Oh, this looks lovely.
You're welcome. Hello, sir. Today we have... George! What are you doing here?
Hey, Judy, I'll have a little of everything, thanks. Smells great.
George, seriously, what are you doing here? I haven't seen you since our divorce was finalized. You've got no right to be here. You're hardly homeless.
Don't be like that, Judy. I really miss your home cooking. All right, we're back. So talking about volunteering, have you ever done any volunteer work?
I have. I've done quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, what have you done?
Back when I was living in the United States, in Chicago, I used to cook for a homeless shelter every week. So I would bring food every Thursday.
So you cook at home and you bring the food over to the shelter.
That's right. So the shelter had a kitchen, but they used donations from people because there were so many people who came there for food. And once a month, I would volunteer to also serve the food.
Okay.
So I would bring lasagna or pasta, things that most people like, and then once a month I would sit down with people and talk. You know, a lot of people are lonely when they're in homeless shelters because they come alone, or maybe it's a mother and her child, and it's nice to also come and sit and talk to them.
No, it's very interesting, and I think volunteering is a much better solution than, for example, just giving out money to poor people or something like that. I don't think that's really the solution. I think you should dedicate your time and your energy to making a difference, like in the dialogue.
Well, and I think that the other benefit is for you, the volunteer, because it changes your perspective on poverty and on humanity, and you think about, well, I could be this person. He was a banker 2 years ago, and now he doesn't have a house. And so I think it has a positive effect on everybody involved.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it's a very rewarding experience, and I think English Pod definitely supports that you should volunteer, you should make a difference, and I think we can all help each other, right?
That's right, and let us know, have you ever volunteered? What kind of volunteer work have you done? Has it been environmental or social?
Helping other people, the power of kindness. What does it mean to help others? Helping others means giving our time, energy, or resources to support someone in need. It can be something big, like volunteering at a hospital, or something small, like helping a friend with homework. Helping others does not always mean giving money. It can be as simple as a kind word, a smile, or listening to someone's problems. In life, everyone needs help at some point. Sometimes we are the ones giving help, and other times we are the ones receiving it. Helping others makes the world a better place and brings happiness to both the giver and the receiver. Why is helping others important? Helping others makes people happy. When we help someone, they feel good and we feel good too. A simple act of kindness, like helping a friend or a stranger, can bring joy to both the giver and the receiver. Helping others builds strong relationships. When we support and care for others, we create friendships and trust. People appreciate kindness, and helping them can strengthen the bonds between us. Helping others makes the world a better place. When people work together and support each other, communities become stronger. A society where people help one another is a society full of kindness, respect, and love. Helping others teaches kindness. When we help people, we learn to be patient, understanding, and caring. It helps us see the struggles of others and reminds us to be grateful for what we have. Helping others can come back to us. One day, when we are in need, someone might help us in return. Acts of kindness create a cycle of goodness that spreads from one person to another, making life better for everyone. Ways to help others. There are many ways to help others in our daily lives. Helping does not always mean giving money. It can be through time, effort, or even kind words. When we help people, we make life easier for them and create a positive environment around us. Helping family. Family is the first group of people we are connected to. Helping family members makes home a happier place. We can help by doing chores, listening to their problems, and supporting them in difficult times. Helping parents with housework, taking care of younger siblings, and assisting elderly family members are simple ways to show love and care. Helping friends. Friends are an important part of life, and helping them strengthens our relationships. We can help by being there when they need someone to talk to, sharing things with them, or supporting them in their studies. A good friend helps during difficult times and celebrates during happy moments. Helping strangers. We do not need to know someone to offer help. Small acts of kindness, like giving directions, helping an elderly person carry groceries, or picking up something someone dropped, can make a big difference. Helping strangers shows that kindness exists everywhere and creates a sense of unity in society. Helping in the community. Communities become stronger when people work together. Volunteering in schools, hospitals, or parks helps improve the place we live in. Cleaning public areas, donating food and clothes to those in need, and participating in community programs are great ways to make the world a better place. A helpful community is a happy and successful one. The reward of helping others. Helping others does not only benefit those who receive help, but it also makes us feel happier and more connected to the world. When we help others, we learn kindness, patience, and understanding. It creates a chain of goodness when we help someone. They may help another person, and the kindness continues. Helping others is a small act that can make a big difference. Even a small gesture, like holding the door for someone or giving a kind word, can brighten someone's day. The more we help, the more we spread kindness, making the world a better place for everyone.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Set to work vigorously. Pitch in. Willing to give away one's money, time, etc. Generous. Give something for free to a good cause. Donate. Be in a difficult situation. Fall on hard times. People who need practical or emotional support. Needy. Almost not. Hardly.
Willing to give away one's money, time, etc. Generous. Set to work vigorously. Pitch in. Let's try that faster.
Give something for free to a good cause. Donate.
Willing to give away one's money, time, etc. Generous.
Almost not. Hardly.
Set to work vigorously. Pitch in.
Willing to give away one's money, time, etc. Generous. Be in a difficult situation. Fall on hard times. People who need practical or emotional support. Needy. Set to work vigorously. Pitch in.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Donate. Every week, I donate 4 hours of my time to play with the kids at the orphanage. Donate. Can you donate some of your time to help us out at the soup kitchen? Donate. We have many volunteers who regularly donate their time to talk with the elderly in the nursing home. Generous. They gave a generous donation to the organization. Generous. This restaurant is very generous with their portion sizes. Generous. He is known to be a generous person. Fall on hard times. I talked with several homeless people, and most of them are on the street because they fell on hard times. Fall on hard times. My friend has fallen on hard times and has to sell her house. Fall on hard times. I hope we won't fall on hard times during this economic crisis. Needy. The needy are numerous in this city. Needy. We need to help the needy in our country. Needy. There are many needy people in my city. Hardly. I make hardly enough money to feed my family. Hardly. You're hardly in need of another pair of shoes. Hardly. With 5 kids, I hardly get any peace and quiet.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going to be looking at English, slang, and informal words used in the 1980s.
So this is the next part of our decades dialogues.
Exactly. So the 1980s, maybe for many of our listeners, is a little bit more familiar. And there are a lot of phrases and a lot of words that were born in this decade, and we still use them today.
So we're going to learn those words and phrases in this dialogue, but before we start, we need to preview a couple of words. So let's go now to vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
So one of the words that we're going to hear in our dialogue is ride.
Is that your ride?
Is that your ride?
So a ride. Normally we know this word as a verb, right?
Right, to ride a bicycle. In this context, it's an informal way of referring to your car.
So a ride is a car.
Yeah, so I just bought a new ride.
All right, well, maybe you'll take me for a ride in your new ride.
In your new ride.
Yeah.
All right. And we're also going to be looking at this word loaded.
He's loaded.
So if you are loaded,
you're really rich.
You have a lot of money.
Yep.
You are loaded with money. So loaded and ride, those are our 2 words for vocabulary preview. And, well, let's listen to our 1980s dialogue and see what happens.
Jim, what's up, man?
Charlie, is that your ride? It's butt ugly, dude.
Don't be an airhead. This is a 1969 Chevy Impala. I just need to fix it up a bit. In a couple of months, this baby is gonna be wicked.
Not even. Check it out. Now that's a fresh ride.
Well, too bad the driver's a major dweeb. Anyone can have a car like that if their daddy's loaded like his.
He's coming this way. Be cool. Hey guys, what do you think of my automobile? Isn't it bad to the bone?
Word. The ladies are gonna be lining up to get with you when they see you driving around in that car.
You really think so? For sure. Awesome.
Psych! You totally fell for it.
You're a real scumbag, Charlie. When I do the nasty with the prom queen, we'll see who has the last laugh. Dude, don't have a cow.
All right, so typical high school students of the decade, right?
Definitely very, very 80s.
Very 80s. And, well, of course, you always have the situation with the cool kids and maybe the kids that are not so cool and, well, they're making fun of him, right?
Yeah, but they use some really cool words. So let's look at them now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so the first word that we saw in Language Takeaway and was really interesting, this word, butt ugly.
It's butt ugly.
That car is butt ugly.
So when something is butt ugly, it's really ugly, right?
It's very ugly. It's not just ugly, it's very ugly.
And what butt is like
from your
bottom.
From your bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
So he said the car was butt ugly, and the other guy answered by saying, hey, don't be an airhead.
An airhead.
Don't be an airhead.
So an airhead is someone with air in their head.
In their head. So they're not very smart.
They've got no brains.
They've got no brains, right? So he said, don't be an airhead. Don't be such an idiot. All right. Now, for the third word, he described his car as being wicked.
It's wicked.
Wicked. That's wicked.
It's going to be wicked.
Okay, so this is a very 80s way of saying it's going to be cool.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be wicked.
All right. And now when they saw another car pulling up, a new car, he described it as a fresh ride.
It's a fresh ride.
Now, we understand that ride is a car, right? So a fresh ride.
It's another way of saying cool.
Okay, so kind of similar, wicked and fresh.
Yeah. Now, finally, at the end of our dialogue, they said, you're a real scumbag, Charlie. So this word scumbag is interesting.
You're a scumbag.
A scumbag.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it's still used today, I would say.
Yep. So when someone is a scumbag, they're just really not a nice person.
Yeah, they're not nice, or they're not, maybe to a certain point, honest.
They're not kind.
Exactly. You're a scumbag. Okay, but it's not a very harsh word, right? It's not harsh to call somebody a scumbag?
Well, it's not like a swear word, but it's certainly not a nice thing to say to someone.
Okay, exactly. All right, so let's listen to all these adjectives that we've just looked at right now, again in our dialogue, and then we'll come back and look at some more phrases.
Jim! What's up, man?
Charlie, is that your ride? It's butt ugly, dude.
Don't be an airhead. This is a 1969 Chevy Impala. I just need to fix it up a bit. In a couple of months, this baby's gonna be wicked.
Not even. Check it out. Now that's a fresh ride.
Too bad the driver is a major dweeb. Anyone can have a car like that if their daddy's loaded like his.
He's coming this way. Be cool. Hey guys, what do you think of my automobile? Isn't it bad to the bone?
Word. The ladies are going to be lining up to get with you when they see you driving around in that car.
You really think so? For sure. Awesome.
Psych. You totally fell for it.
You are a real scumbag, Charlie. When I do the nasty with the prom queen, we'll see who has the last laugh.
Dude, don't have a cow.
Okay, well, you know what, Marco? I love the 80s. I love the language of the 80s. I love the music of the 80s. And I'm really loving these phrases from the 80s. So why don't we look at them now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so on Fluency Builder today, let's take a look at these phrases that you were talking about. And the first one is very interesting. So these two guys, they were making fun of this other person that was in this nice car, and he called him a major dweeb.
A major dweeb.
He's a major dweeb.
What a major dweeb.
Now let's break this into two parts first. Well, let's see what dweeb means.
Well, a dweeb is a very uncool person.
Okay, so kind of similar to a nerd.
Yeah, a small kind of guy with no power.
Okay, he's a dweeb. Now, this word major.
It just means big, really serious.
So it's a way of emphasizing, right?
Yeah. And you can say anything. You can have a major anything, like, I've got a major headache.
Or I can say, I have a major problem this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so major, a very big problem.
Yep. Now, they're talking about this really cool car, and the guy who is a bit of a dweeb, he said, isn't it bad to the bone?
Bad to the bone.
It's bad to the bone.
All right, now, this is also part of a famous song, Bad to the Bone, but what does it mean?
Well, when something is bad to the bone, it's super cool. It's like, it's so dangerous that it's cool.
Exactly. It's very, very cool. It's bad to the bone. Now, this is not used anymore.
No. Don't walk out of your house and use this phrase tomorrow.
All right, so, but it's interesting to know because there is a famous song that has this phrase in it, so bad to the bone.
All right, so the car was so cool, it was bad to the bone that all of the ladies would be wanting to get with the driver.
All right, so somebody wants to get with you.
He just wants to get with you. So if you want to get with someone, you want to have sex with them.
Right, so if you want to get with someone, basically it means that you want to have sex with them. But there's another phrase that was used in the dialogue that means pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, to do the nasty.
To do the nasty.
They're doing the nasty.
Okay, now this was a very popular way of saying it in the 80s. It means to have sex as well.
Yeah, but this one is a little bit rude, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more direct.
Yeah.
If you and your friends are talking and you say, hey, I think that girl wants to get with you, it's a little bit more casual and less obvious.
Yeah, yes. Do the nasty is a little bit more rude.
Yeah, a little bit more direct.
Yeah.
And now the last phrase that we're going to look at today was made famous by the cartoons, The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm. And it's don't have a cow.
Don't have a cow, man.
Don't have a cow.
So to not have a cow, don't have a cow means?
To get really angry, to freak out, to get upset.
All right, so now we know that you say don't have a cow. But can I say it and use it in the positive? Can I say, hey, my boss totally had a cow today in the office?
Yeah, and it means, again, so it freaked out, got angry, made a big deal of something.
Okay, he had a cow.
Yeah, so Frank's gonna have a cow when he finds out I smashed his car.
Of course Frank is gonna have a cow. How can you smash his car? All right, but now it's time for us to listen to this dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about this decade of the 1980s.
Jim, what's up, man?
Charlie, is that your ride? It's butt ugly, dude.
Don't be an airhead. This is a 1969 Chevy Impala. I just need to fix it up a bit. In a couple of months, this baby is gonna be wicked.
Not even. Check it out. Now that's a fresh ride.
Well, too bad the driver's a major dweeb. Anyone can have a car like that if their daddy's loaded like his.
He's coming this way. Be cool.
Hey guys, what do you think of my automobile? Isn't it bad to the bone?
Word. The ladies are gonna be lining up to get with you when they see you driving around in that car.
You really think so?
For sure.
awesome.
Psych! You totally fell for it.
You're a real scumbag, Charlie. When I do the nasty with the prom queen, we'll see who has the last laugh.
Dude, don't have a cow.
Okay, so Marco, when I was listening to the dialogue this time, I heard a really cool word. They said psych.
Right. Now, this was a very popular thing during the 80s when you would say to somebody, psych.
So this is like saying, just kidding, right?
Just kidding, right. So you would say, oh, Eric, I really like your hat.
Oh, thank you.
Psych, that hat is terrible.
Oh.
Right? So that's how you would use it. You would give somebody a compliment, or you would lie to somebody.
Yeah.
And then tell them psych, and then like tell them the truth. Like, oh, that hat is terrible, or oh, I was just kidding.
Okay. So psych. What a great phrase.
It was very, very popular. And when I was in school, we would use it as well. We would psych each other out.
So do we still use this phrase today?
I don't think we use it today. I don't think it's cool anymore.
Well, if you use it, it's kind of like you're joking, right?
Yeah, and I think it would make people laugh. Like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, you're joking about how you're a little bit old-fashioned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm very sure you would surprise a lot of your native English-speaking friends if you use this phrase.
A good one to try out. Now, if you have any questions about this phrase or any other of the language,
we're there to answer all your questions, and also let us know any other lessons or topics that you would like to learn about in the future.
Hello and welcome, English learners. Close your eyes for a second and imagine neon signs buzzing softly above a midnight sidewalk, a cassette tape rolling inside a Walkman, and a group of teenagers arguing about which arcade has the better machines. The air smells like hairspray and pizza, the radio keeps playing the same guitar riff, and every sentence seems to arrive with an easy swagger. That is the mood I want today. The 1980s, when slang jumped from skate parks and high school hallways into movies, TV, and pop songs, and then rode MTV straight into living rooms across the country. We are going to explore the slang of that decade, how people used it, what it meant, and how it compares to the phrases you hear today. I won't throw a big list at you. Instead, I'll paint scenes you can hear in your head. By the end, you'll have a pocket full of expressions and a better feel for how informal English works then and now. Let's start with approval and excitement. The sound of someone seeing something they like and needing a word that pops. In the 80s, the classic hit was rad, short for radical. If your friend landed a new skateboard trick, it was rad. If a concert blew your mind, it was rad. The word rides out of your mouth like a short guitar chord, clean, punchy, done. Around the same campfire burned other words that meant almost the same thing but carried different flavors. Awesome, wicked, bitchin', gnarly, tubular, bodacious. Awesome, of course, has survived every decade, but back then it felt new and bright, like a sunrise reflected in sunglasses. Wicked was strong in certain regions, especially the Northeast. It worked as an adverb too, wicked good, adding a local stamp to praise. Bitchin' came out of surf and car culture with a touch of rebellion in the vowel, like a smirk that worked only among friends. Gnarly began as a surfer's word for a wave that was twisted and dangerous. In regular life, it could mean impressive or difficult, depending on tone. Tubular and bodacious were more cartoonish, almost smiling at themselves, the kind of words you'd shout while jumping into a pool. If you want to feel the rhythm of those words today, you might say fire, lit, insane, goated, or simply that slaps. Fire is quick and image heavy. Lit is the party starter. Goated puts a crown on whatever you're praising. Slaps turn sound into approval for music or anything with impact. Notice how both eras love short, strong syllables. The feeling is the same. You like something so much that your mouth wants a word that flexes. Now pivot to disappointment and judgment. Every time there's a rad, there's a bogus. Bogus is a perfect 80s stamp for something false, unfair, or just plain bad news. If your friend promised to bring your cassette back and lost it, that was bogus. When a bus left early and you missed a movie, bogus. Today you might say, that's rough, that's lame, that's trash, or more internet native words like cringe. Lame existed in the 80s as well, sitting there like a flat tire, but bogus had a special music to it, a gentle boo mixed with a shrug. There were other negatives: grody, which meant gross or dirty; scuzzy, which sounded like your tongue was sliding over something unpleasant; and sketchy, already working its way toward today's sus. Sus, short for suspicious, has become a modern hit, clean as a stamp. In the 80s, you might have called that guy at the mall shady or said, I don't trust this, but you probably wouldn't have said sus. 2 syllables versus 1, different decades, same human radar. People are people. Language just keeps changing outfits. Every decade needs words for people too. Heroes, fools, and everyone in between. 80s teens carried a full toolbox: dweeb, nerd, geek, airhead, poser, burnout. Dweeb was a gentle insult for someone awkward and unconfident, someone who knew the math answers but dropped their lunch. Nerd, back then, still wore a pocket protector and thick glasses in people's imaginations. Today, nerd has been reclaimed, often proudly, especially in tech and fandom spaces. Geek took a similar journey from insult to identity badge. Geek culture holds whole conventions now. Airhead was a mean way to call someone not very bright. I'd avoid using it about real people today, except inside a nostalgic quote. Poser called out fakeness. Someone wearing the band t-shirt but not knowing a single song. Someone dressing like a skater but never touching a deck. Burnout described the kid who was always absent-minded, drifting, not because they were thinking big thoughts, but because they were sleeping through school with a heavy sigh. Some of those terms survive, but have softened or shifted. Modern youth slang might reach for tryhard to tag a poser, or basic to describe someone who follows every trend without a personal twist. Cringe has swallowed whole categories of judgment that used to have many words. And instead of calling someone a dweeb, a lot of people now simply describe the behavior. He was awkward. She was a little off today. One lesson here is kindness. Slang can be fun, but some words punch down. Use them thoughtfully, or better yet, describe actions rather than identities. Let's step into a mall, because the 80s loved malls. The doors slide open. Air conditioning hits your face. A group passes by holding giant sodas, speaking a dialect the media later called Valley Girl. So, everything is totally something, and you, have to hear it. The filler word became a musical note that softened sentences and gave speakers time to think. People have always used fillers, but the 80s turned into a style. Another phrase from that zone: gag me with a spoon. Over the top and theatrical, a comic way to say that's disgusting. Today, you could say that's gross, I can't, or simply yikes. The good news is never actually left. It moved into many people's speech patterns across regions and social groups, especially when telling stories. Used well, it brings the listener closer, as if the speaker is drawing a storyboard in real time. I was and then he goes, and I'm if you're learning English, you don't need to use every other word, but it's useful to recognize that it often signals quoted thought or emotion, not just hesitation. What about dating and friendship? The 80s had a vocabulary that feels sweet and old school next to modern terms. You could be going steady, an earlier phrase still hanging around. Or you might say you were seeing someone. If you wanted to get with someone, you meant you wanted romantic time together. Maybe hand-holding behind the bleachers, maybe more. People talked about making out, about a crush, about dumping someone or being dumped. When things got too intense, a friend might tell you to take a chill pill, comic medicine prescribed by a teenager to another teenager. No actual pharmacy involved. If your date canceled, they bailed on you or they flaked. Today, the landscape uses a whole new map. A situationship when things are undefined, talking stage when you're texting a lap but not official, ghosting when someone disappears, and sliding into DMs when you open a private channel. Shoot your shot is the modern courage boost that might have been phrased as just ask her out back then. The basics are the same: attraction, uncertainty, hope, and a bit of drama. Only the packaging has changed, and some of the modern packaging is digital. Let's click the Walkman's door shut and talk about tech, because slang loves gadgets. In the 80s, if you loved someone, you made them a mixtape. That single word held hours of work, choosing songs, recording each one from vinyl or radio, writing tiny track lists with your best pen. Your boombox wasn't just a speaker. It was a portable stage you carried on your shoulder. When your favorite band released an album, they dropped a new record, yes, but that drop didn't mean what it does today. Now, the same love lives in playlists, Bluetooth speakers, and streaming platforms. And drop has become a marketing drumbeat. The artist just dropped a single. The brand dropped a collab. Even memory keeps some old terms alive. People still say hang up the phone even when there's nothing to hang. And they tape a show even when no tape is involved. That's how slang works. It grows from objects, then outlives them. Fashion added its own subtitles. A fresh fit wasn't called that yet, but fresh itself was, especially in hip-hop scenes. Fresh kicks, a fresh jacket, a fresh cut. You could also be styling, sometimes stylin', because dropping a letter can make a word put on sunglasses. If your outfit impressed the group, you were looking fly. Today, drip carries that role, along with fit for the total look. The energy is the same. Language wants a quick stamp for looking good, and communities invent it. A tip for learners: when vocabulary changes fast, focus on the rhythm. Even if drip fades and another word takes its place, the habit of giving short, rhythmic praise will remain. Every youth culture needs ways to say hello, goodbye, yes, no, and I'm out. In the 80s, peace worked as a casual goodbye, sometimes with the two-finger gesture. People said word or word up to show agreement, as if someone had spoken the true thing and you were stamping it. If the situation flipped, you could shout psych to reveal a harmless trick. I brought you a ticket. Psych! Don't try this with rent money. To leave quickly, you might book it, jet, or bail. Today we have amount, I'm dipping, we move, and sometimes just a quick bet as a shorthand agreement, or okay. Bet didn't mean that in the 80s. Languages recycle sounds and hand them new jobs. Keep your ears open and you'll start hearing the logic. Safety and respect matter too. Slang can travel from one community into the mainstream and lose context along the way. Some expressions grew out of specific Black, Latin, or regional cultures. Some came from surfer talk, skater talk, or punk scenes. When you borrow from any of those, do it with love and awareness. The goal isn't to pretend you were there with a board in 1984. The goal is to understand how people played with English so you can play with it too, in a way that fits your voice and your time. If a word feels like a costume that doesn't belong to you, let it go. If it feels natural and you use it with respect, carry on. Now imagine a school hallway in 1987, just before the bell. A conversation flickers like a short film. Dude, that algebra test was gnarly. Totally bogus. I blanked on the last question. Same. Wanna hit the arcade later? For sure. I got a fresh quarter roll from my dad. Notice the warmth of dude, which was spreading widely by then. It can address anyone, though in some regions, people still use it mainly among men. The modern hall might echo differently. That math test was brutal. Yeah, I blanked, low-key panicking. Wanna hit the cafe later? Bet. The grammar hasn't changed much, but the vibe has. Low-key is a modern favorite for quiet intensity. It sounds like you're turning a volume knob. Bet is quicker than for sure. Half word and half gesture you can hear. Here's another scene. A skate park tucked behind a supermarket. A kid drops into the half pipe and wipes out, then hops up laughing. Dude, that was gnarly. Your board is sick. Sick in the 80s could still mean sick, but in certain circles it already meant good when delivered with the right grin. The kid answers, "Thanks, your new trucks are rad." If you play that scene in 2025, the compliments might be, "Your board is fire," or "That trick was insane," and rad returns as a vintage souvenir, like a t-shirt you stole from your dad's closet. Old slang never fully dies. It hibernates, then comes back as nostalgia. Think about comedy for a moment, because many 80s expressions carry humor. Take a chill pill is absurd on purpose. No pharmacist has a bottle labeled chill. Gag me with a spoon is so dramatic it makes you laugh even while you're grossed out. No way, Jose adds a rhyme and a rhythm to what could have been a flat refusal. And when plans changed, people might say psych and sprint away with a grin. Modern comedy on the internet prefers hyperbole and irony. I cannot, I'm deceased, I'm screaming, I'm low-key obsessed. The body is still in the sentence, gag, scream, deceased, because the body helps humor travel. We recognize exaggeration as play. Music slang deserves its own spotlight. Hip-hop in the 80s wasn't just a sound, it was a laboratory for new words. Fresh, def, dope, fly, each one a drum hit that turned approval into a beat. Def isn't common now, but dope survived and keeps evolving. Fly landed in early R&B lyrics as a marker of elegance and attractiveness and stayed fashionable for decades. If you listen to those words while you listen to the music, you can hear how they ride the rhythm. For learners, try this exercise after the episode. Pick one old track and one modern track you like. Write down the adjectives of praise in each song. Say them out loud on the beat. You'll feel how slang and rhythm hold hands. Work and school slang from the 80s also leaves footprints in today's speech. To ace a test is still common. To cram for an exam is still the image, squeezing facts into your head like clothes into a suitcase. Teachers graded on a curve, the class clown still made interruptions, and homework was sometimes called busy work when it felt like motion without meaning. Students said book it to leave quickly, and if you forgot your assignment, you might claim the dog ate my homework, an excuse no one believes but everyone recognizes. Modern classrooms add words like extra for someone who does too much, not always as a compliment, and stan for extreme fan behavior toward a celebrity or even a teacher who acts like one. Stan, of course, belongs to a different era, but it shows how slang now grows from the internet as much as from hallways. Let's step into a living room at 9 p.m., the TV throwing light on a blue carpet. A family watches a show where the teenager calls something totally tubular, and the parents sigh because they don't understand half the sentence. This is normal. Every generation uses language to build a clubhouse. But pay attention to how carefully written 80s dialogue used repetition and rhythm. Totally was the little drum that held sentences together. You didn't just say cool jacket. You said that jacket is like totally cool. Today, the sentence might become that jacket is actually fire or simply that jacket's fire, with the verb contracting until the praise is almost a clap. Grammar tightens during casual speech. If you study both, you learn a secret. Informal English follows rules, just different ones. It prefers short verbs, concrete nouns, and sound patterns you can feel in the jaw. Insults and comebacks change, but some skeletons are the same. 80s kids yelled nerd, dweeb, airhead, scumbag, some gentle, some sharp. Today, someone might say cringe, boomer, clown, or hater. Each word tries to put someone in a box and close the lid. My advice? Practice the vocabulary so you recognize it, but use it sparingly. When in doubt, describe behavior, not identity. He acted like a poser is already softer than he is a poser, and that move felt fake focuses on the action, not the person. Language shapes how we treat each other. Slang is powerful because it's sticky. Now, a note about tone and register. Many of these 80s phrases sound playful and high energy because the decade loved excess. Big hair, big sound, big gestures. If you try to use tubular or bodacious in a quiet meeting today, it might sound like a costume. But wicked still plays in some regions, and awesome refuses to retire. Rad can be your vintage signature if you deliver it with a smile in the right company. Modern equivalents, fire, lit, low-key, no cap, live just fine in casual settings, but will sound out of place in a job interview. The skill you want is code switching, moving between styles as easily as changing shoes for the right occasion. Presidents do it, teachers do it, comedians do it. You can too. A quick walk through money talk. In the 80s, someone with plenty of cash was loaded or rolling in it. A rich young professional was a yuppie, a word that now lives mostly in documentaries and old magazine covers. If someone showed off too much, they were a show-off or a sellout, depending on the context. Today, loaded still works, but you will also hear baller for someone who lives large and flex as a verb for showing status on purpose. We even use flex casually, as in weird flex but okay, to tease a strange choice someone is proud of. You can hear the cultural shift. Money talk moved from suits and briefcases to sneakers and streetwear, and the words followed. Sports slang traveled too. In the 80s, a clutch player performed under pressure, and that term remains solid today, expanding into everyday life. Thanks for being clutch with that email. You could also say someone choked when they failed under pressure. That usage still stands, though it's sharper and best used with care. What's new is how internet culture spread sports metaphors into everything. People shoot their shot in romance or business, and MVP has escaped the stadium to praise the person who saved the group project. Language loves a good metaphor because it saves mental energy. One strong picture explains a whole situation. Let's finish with 2 guided practice moments woven into the story so you can try them without pausing the show. First, taste the sound of 80s enthusiasm and then translate it into now. Repeat after me in your head. That guitar solo was bodacious. Feel the open vowels. Now convert it. That solo was fire. The second one is tighter, harder, shaped for texting. Both are correct in the right place. Second practice, 80s disappointment versus modern disappointment. That price is bogus. Short, theatrical. Switch it. That price is brutal. The emotion is the same, the jacket is different. If you want a small homework assignment that doesn't feel like homework, try this. Write a 1-minute scene set in the 80s. 2 friends at an arcade, or a couple waiting outside a movie theater, or a kid standing in front of a record store trying to choose an album. Give them 3 expressions from today's episode, maybe rad, bogus, and take a chill pill, and then rewrite the same scene in the present day using modern equivalents. Fire, cringe, low-key, no cap. You'll see how each set of words changes the temperature of the room. It's like swapping the lighting from neon to LED. The story stays the same, but the atmosphere flips and your ear gets smarter. Before we wrap, I want to shout out one more quiet truth. Slang is not a test you pass or fail. It's a dance you join. You don't need to use every word you hear today. Pick 3 that feel natural and try them this week with a friend who understands you're practicing. Listen for tone. Notice when people laugh, when they nod, when they echo you back. Pay attention to which words make you smile when you say them. Those are your words, the ones that fit your mouth and your life. And remember that words come and go, but kindness never goes out of style. It is always on trend to make other people feel comfortable while you learn. I can still hear the 80s in certain places. Someone will say wicked out of nowhere at a baseball game. A DJ will call an old track dope. A skater will land a trick and whisper rad as if it just arrived from 1986 in perfect condition. Language doesn't throw anything away. It stores everything in a closet, and sometimes a teenager opens that door and discovers a jacket that fits again. Meanwhile, today's words, fire, lit, sus, low-key, no cap, are being recorded in a million texts and videos, ready to enter the next decade's museum of slang. Someday, a young host will tell a story about us and laugh at how we talked. And they will be right, because that's the fun of it. Every generation thinks their words are normal, and every future generation thinks those words are adorable. So take what you like from this tour. Keep awesome because it still works everywhere. Borrow rad when you want to retro sparkle. Use fire when the music hits, and low-key when you want to confess a small truth without turning on the spotlight. Keep bogus in your pocket for jokes, and cringe for modern secondhand embarrassment you can feel in your bones. And if a friend panics, give them the timeless prescription. Take a chill pill, delivered with a smile and the understanding that we're all just improvising our way through life, one small word at a time. Thanks for listening. May your English be flexible, your ear be curious, and your sense of play be, well, totally, no, let's say it the modern way, absolutely fire.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. A silly or stupid person.
Airhead.
Information.
411.
Nerd. Loser.
Dweeb.
Relax. Chill out.
Take a chill pill.
Very good.
Wicked.
A male who plays a lot of sports.
Jock.
To be romantic with.
To get with.
Leave a place quickly.
Jet.
Rich.
Loaded.
Leave me alone. Go away. I don't care.
Bite me.
A car.
Ride.
Very ugly.
But.
Man.
Dude.
New. Cool.
Fresh.
Completely cool.
Bad to the bones.
Just kidding. I was joking.
Psych.
Get angry.
Have a cow.
Let's try that faster. Leave a place quickly.
Jet.
Very ugly.
But.
Very good.
Wicked.
New. Cool.
Fresh.
A silly or stupid person.
Airhead.
A male who plays a lot of sports.
Jock.
Completely cool.
Bad to the bones.
Nerd. Loser.
Dweeb.
A car.
Ride.
Just kidding. I was joking.
Psych.
Man.
Dude.
To be romantic with.
To get with.
Leave me alone. Go away. I don't care.
Bite me.
Rich.
Loaded.
Relax. Chill out.
Take a chill pill.
Information.
411.
Get angry.
Have a cow.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Airhead. I dated a girl in college and she was a real airhead. She thought Europe was a country. Airhead. Bob is a real airhead. All I can talk about is girls, parties, and drinking. Airhead. Can you believe that Nick called me an airhead? He is such a jerk. Wicked. My brother is an amazing hockey player. He has a wicked slap shot. Wicked. I just saw the new Terminator movie and it's wicked. Wicked. There is a comedian that does a wicked imitation of the president. It's so funny. Dweeb. My classmates in high school thought I was a dweeb because I liked math. Dweeb. Stop being a dweeb. Let's go out tonight. You can study tomorrow. Dweeb. Catherine has a new boyfriend, and from what I hear, he's a real dweeb. Loaded. I wish I were like Bill Gates. That guy is loaded. Loaded.
Jason's father owns stock in most Fortune 500 companies. That guy is loaded. Loaded. You want to buy a Ferrari? Dude, you need to be loaded to even think about doing that. To get with. Tom has been dreaming of getting with Sarah, but she already has a boyfriend. To get with. If you want to get with Lucy, you have to be nice and sweet. To get with. I heard you got with Daniel last night. Is that true?